People always told me your wedding day goes by in a blur, but honestly, every single moment of my wedding at Spinelli's Vistro felt unforgettable. The second I pulled onto the property, I knew this place was different. It didn't feel like some cold event venue or a giant ballroom trying to pretend to be romantic. It felt real, peaceful, elegant, almost like something out of a movie. And then I saw the chapel. I still remember getting emotional the very first time I walked through those doors. The historic stone chapel, the bell tower, the beautiful trees surrounding the property, everything felt timeless. It had this incredible mix of elegance and warmth that instantly made me picture myself walking down that aisle. And when the day finally came, it was even more beautiful than I imagined. One of the things I loved most about Spinelli's was how stress-free they made everything feel. As a bride, you hear horror stories all the time about wedding venues being disorganized or impossible to work with. But from the beginning, the team at Spinelli's treated us like family. They answered every question. They helped guide us through details we didn't even think about. And honestly, they made me feel calm during a time that could have easily been overwhelming. The morning of the wedding, I remember sitting with my bridesmaids getting ready, looking out across the property, and just feeling this overwhelming sense of peace. Everything looked absolutely stunning. The landscaping, the ceremony setup, the reception area, every corner of the venue photographed beautifully. And then came the ceremony. I'll never forget those chapel doors opening. Seeing my husband standing there, hearing the music, watching our friends and family fill that gorgeous chapel, it felt magical. There's honestly no other word for it. The chapel itself created such an emotional atmosphere. It wasn't just beautiful visually, it felt meaningful, intimate, romantic. You could feel the emotion in the room. And afterward, when everyone moved outside for photos and the reception, it just kept getting better. The oak trees, the lighting, the Texas hill country scenery, every single photo turned out incredible. I'm not exaggerating when I say we could have used almost every picture from that day in a wedding magazine. But what really made Spinelli special wasn't just how beautiful it looked, it was how it made everyone feel. Our guests are still talking about our wedding. People kept telling us it was one of the most beautiful and emotional weddings they had ever attended. And I truly believe the venue played such a huge role in that. There was this perfect balance between elegance and comfort. It felt upscale without feeling stiff, romantic without feeling overly formal. It just created the perfect atmosphere for love, celebration, and memories. And the reception, wow. The energy, the lighting, the food, the dancing, everything flowed perfectly. We laughed, cried, danced nonstop, and honestly didn't want the night to end. I remember at one point during the reception, I stopped for just a second and looked around the room. Everyone we loved was smiling, laughing, dancing, taking photos, and I realized this was one of the happiest moments of my life. That's what Spinelli's gave us, not just a venue, a memory we'll carry forever. If you're searching for a wedding venue and you want a place that feels romantic, timeless, emotional, and truly unforgettable, I cannot recommend Spinelli's enough. Out of all the decisions we made for our wedding, choosing Spinelli's was one of the best decisions we ever made. And if I could relive that day all over again, I would choose Spinelli's every single time.